You see, like in a Muslim community, yeah, one of the um one of the things that really stands out for me as a person from a family of Muslims, yeah, which is haram, like obviously music, alcohol, and drugs, yeah. Again, on reality team TV, yeah, obviously, like you can understand, like as well. Obviously, it's a big world out there, and this platform is just gonna get bigger and bigger. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
going to be people obviously who are not Muslims,
Yeah.
and there's going to be people who might drink, smoke, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
they still love watching these good, great conversations, and they get educated. You get me in different ways. You know what
Sure.
I mean? So for them, yeah, like let me ask this question for them, yeah. Obviously, I know, but let me ask this question for them so you can give them even a better answer than me. For those who would say, yeah, you know what, sis, yeah, you know what, I hear what you're saying, yeah, but if Allah really, really didn't want us to contribute to a lot of these things, you know what I'm trying to say, a lot of these things that we consider haram, why did he put them on this earth? You got what I'm trying to say? Because I'm just trying to approach this from so we can proper educate people, yeah? People would say if God didn't want all of these things to be on earth and all of these things are haram and you're not allowed to take them and stuff like that, why did he make them and why are they here? You get me? What would
Yeah.
you say to them?
Again, there's wisdom in the creation of everything,
Oh,
right?
I'm with
There
you.
needs to be good and there needs to be bad. You need to know,
Mm-hmm.
what's right and what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we need to remember that a lot of things that are prohibited,
Mm.
there's a vice against it
Yeah.
for a reason.
Mm.
So if we take alcohol, people, Muslims, everyone used to drink alcohol
Yeah.
historically, right?
Mm.
And we know that like wine can have some health benefits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's more to do with like, you're not meant to do that because of the intoxication, the fact that it actually
I'm with you.
takes you away from, it can
Your
affect your
sanity.
sanity.
Mm.
It can get you to do, what's the word I'm looking for, it can get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do or
Do.
behave in manners that you wouldn't normally behave in.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, oh my god, I got so drunk I forgot what I'd done last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many people have had like one night stands and all sorts just because
Millions.
of the effect of
Yeah.
alcohol, or they might have acted violent as well to their
Mm-hmm.
woman. Like, you hear about domestic
Of
violence
course.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
as a result of alcohol.
Yeah.
So it goes back down. Is there more pros or cons to
Yeah.
taking this? You know, and if it's there, it's because there are also maybe some of the substances within
Yeah.
those products are good. Because
Mm.
alcohol, for example, once it's cooked,
Yeah.
then the intoxicants are removed. So if
Mm-hmm.
you were to have it in a cake or something like that,
Yeah.
it's no longer
Alcohol.
impermissible because there are benefits to it. So we have to talk about the process and at what stage that item is haram for
Yeah.
us. So some items are good. Like,
Yeah.
again, cigarettes,
Mm.
again, tar. Tar is used for many other things. It's
Mm.
only because we've chosen to put it in cigarettes and make it harmful
Yeah.
that it becomes harmful and so forth,
Mm.
So yeah, there are going to be things here on
I'm
earth.
with you.
And some things are easy to acquire. Like, we all know about, again, as Muslims, if we wanted to quench our thirst and there wasn't any water or anything, but there was alcohol available, then we could drink it,
Mm.
Like, well, this might sound gruesome, but like urine.
Yeah.
Historically, we all know about people
Of
having
course,
to
I know.
drink
Yeah.
their
Of
urine to
course. Of
hydrate
course. Yeah.
themselves, and
I
that's
know. I know
essentially
these things.
water. Yeah, little things like
There's
that.
there's tribes. There's people back home, even in my country, that use urine and different things for different things because some of them they believe that obviously like they've got different beliefs. Basically, they've got their own beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? And I feel like yeah, man, it's a big world out there as well,
Yeah.
man. Like there's a lot of things that for a person
Mm-hmm.
from Europe, yeah. That's why you know what, yeah, it says here. That's what I feel like. You get a lot of even which I love. English people, some of them, they're so curious to travel around the world,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's what one of the things that fascinates certain people from Europe to travel to our motherland, all of
Mm.
these places because of certain things that we do that are so unique, and it's like it just blows their mind. It's like, oh wow, I didn't know people could do this. I didn't know this means something like that. Because again, like I said, with urine, you might be in Europe and it's like you can never even fathom
Of
either doing
course.
anything with your urine. Do you understand? And you go
Yeah.
to another culture and you're like, you might be just shocked and blown away and be like, wow, I didn't know you can't. You got what I mean?
This is
So,
it. All of these
mm,
resources are given to us from God for a reason. Like, the way
mm-hmm,
mankind and humans have
yeah,
been created,
yeah,
to be self-sufficient, to last, and to get by in nature.
yeah,
Like, a lot of like African dishes are made from like plants and like
absolutely,
herbs and
absolutely.
natural stuff, right?
Mm-hmm,
But it's our decision to, even like animals, when you butcher them, like, yeah, you get people that are vegetarian, vegan, but Islam, we eat our meat halal, and people are like, what's halal? What's so special about halal? All it means is being easy on the animal and, giving them a quick and easy death. But they've been put here, not because we have to kill them, but because they're a source of nutrition for us.
Yeah.
They live, they create, they know their purpose of life. Everyone's created for a purpose. So it's like a cow knows that they are going to be eaten, and they know that they're going to birth their kids. They know that they're going to be a source of milk for the humans, and little things like that, So it's not, oh my God, why have we got cows? Everyone must be vegetarian. Everyone must be this, that.
Yeah.
Everything is there for a reason.
I believe that.
Go away, study it, good or bad. There's good and bad in everything,
There's good and bad in everything, absolutely, man. Let's speak about let's go back to your poetry, yeah? Like, how did you even get into poetry? How did your journey begin in poetry? Like,
yeah, so like,
how did you fall in love with
in
poetry?
primary school, right? For the competitions that I did. So I think I was like 9 years old, and we were talking about the Millennium Dome coming up, and they were like, why don't you guys like write a piece about the Millennium Dome? I was like, cool, competition, fun. Did something, and then they're like, your piece has been selected to be published in the Young Writers book. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that got published. The next year they asked me again, can you write about the opposite sex, a piece about boys?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This is when you're young again, when you're young.
10, and then 11, they were like, can you write about the world? So by the time I was leaving primary school, I had 3 poems published in these Young Writer books.
Wow.
And then, as you do as a kid, you find new things in high school that you like. So I would say, for me, it was all about the sports and the competitions that I was doing there.
Yeah.
But then you learn a bit of poetry, the anthology. But the poetry they teach in school is not the same.
No.
Shakespeare
and all of them things.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, Shakespeare's a G in his own way. Like, he's got his own classics and his own way of writing. He is studied for a reason.
He definitely has his own way of writing.
But poetry is so diverse, and it's not, like, for me, rhyming is my thing, and I have my own way of doing things. I'm in my own lane with my poetry. Everyone has their own approaches to the way they do things.
So they should, to be fair. Yeah.
This is it, it was never about, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
For me, it was a release. Oh, I love rhyming. I'm an audio person. I learn through rhythm and listening. So I would rather plug into an audible audiobook than actually pick up a physical book.
Yeah.
And that will sink in for my learning. I'd rather listen to a lecture on YouTube or a documentary or something than again pick up the thick books. But don't get me wrong, of course I still buy books and I read them if I'm supporting someone or whatever. But so for me the spoken word came more in my high school years, and I guess that was the love of the music and the hip hop and the grime at the time, and everyone was into MCing, and there was opportunity to do your clashes here and there and just muck about, right? So it was gimmicks. I never thought about anything serious. I remember mucking about with a guy and I just killed him in 2 bars.
Kill a man in 2 bars.
2 bars, like like, I don't know how appropriate they are now, but whatever, it is what it is. It's just like, man's always laughing and taking a mick. If you want something to laugh at, look at your dick. I'm just mucking about them days, right?
Gee! If you want something to look at, take a look at your oh my God, what?
Cut.
Yeah, take a look at your beep. And I can imagine everybody going, oh! Take a look at your beep.
And this is like high school gimmicks, but then I think it was in uni where I was going through my transition of faith and stuff. And I was not always a happy bunny. I was going through a lot of stress and stuff through my trials. And I remember a friend, a sister, was just like, why don't you write a poetry piece about it? Furthermore, come perform it here. Can you do a little feature for us and whatever? So I wrote a piece called How I Embraced the Theme, which I decided to put in my Finding Faith section of the book as well. And it was just literally something that led to more performances. So I was actually doing a lot of headlines in uni through different places. Like I remember a friend asking me to do like a women aesthetic show and just used to just do it on the side. It's
so you've done your groundwork. You've done your groundwork. And through your journey, through your poetry journey, you've done your groundwork, you've worked on your craft. Like, how would you describe your poetry like style? Because obviously, remember me and you had a conversation about how you put how you put your poetry, how you spit and how you put the beat on, and how basically your style of poetry, like how would you describe it?
Do you know what? Some people try to categorize me. They're like, got mad flow, you're a rapper,
Nah.
or you're like this, that. I'm like, at the end of the day, I say I'm a spoken word artist and I love rhyme. That is me.
Word.
You will catch me rhyming. So if I write a poem that's not rhyming, that's me challenging myself and doing something random.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just free write and just give myself, like, time can be an issue sometimes, and you get requests and features and commissions to do sometimes.
Yeah.
So you just set yourself 10 minutes and you just write something and put it out there, and that's it. You know, I don't share everything I write. I think during the pandemic, a lot of what I wrote was probably dark and personal, and I thought, you know what, this is for me.
Yeah.
I write for me, and first and foremost. It's only literally, as I was saying, summer 2019, that was open to sharing a lot more. And it's because of the reaction from people that I keep going. It's like people saying it resonates with them, it's having an impact on them. So I'm like, I appreciate it's a talent that God's given me, and I shouldn't let it get wasted. So I will continue to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the first piece of my book is called "Rhyming Is My Thing."
Yeah.
And that's me explaining that I just love rhyme, and I'm committed to keep going. And I've put this poetry thing on hold a bit, but I'm gonna keep going. And slowly, I've got the debut collection. I've got my debut single out this year. I should have had more tracks up, but I've had challenges, I'll be honest, with producers and things like that.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised you're saying you actually say you got your debut, because you feel like you've already put some out. Maybe do you mean like maybe on
single,
a lot of platforms?
as in that was my Random Rambles A to Z track.
Yeah.
That was the first time I added a soundscape, and that was the first time I went on to different platforms. But poetry pieces, of course, I've done, but single, as in a track, that was my first one that I did. So, like, even with the EP, that'll be my first one with probably some audio backings, and that'll be on the album project and stuff. So, it's not really a path I was going down. So, I'm still kind of new to the journey to an extent, but I'm not like fresh blood at the same time. It's just new to sharing to wider audiences, and I've had the opportunity obviously to do things on TV, radio, you know, in London, public, private, you know, it could be like a wedding request, or it could be a community project. Like last week I did something for a festival in Newham, where I actually spoke to locals in the community to find out what their issues were, and then, you know, I was commissioned to go away, write some pieces. So I shared like 5 new poems for them on that day. And like it varies. You know, these are like one-off poems, but then I've been contacted since to do more work with the community. To
continue to do more work with the community.
You know?
You can tell, like, you know, you're causing, the impact is there, man. You're having on people, man, and may it continue for many years to come. Like, you basically, I don't know if I've ever told you, I've got a cousin, he's obviously he's Muslim as well. His name is Double S. He's been making music for years and stuff like that. Have you ever heard of him before? Double S. Yeah. So basically, like, one thing with the family, he's not always had, but here and there, he's had with certain family members and stuff like that. Obviously, you can't make music because it's haram. You know, again, another conversation me and you had, and I'm like, remember when I asked you, how do you go about, you know, balancing it, and have you ever thought about it? Like, for people who might be watching this and then there's, you know, they know, or they might think, well, she's a proper Muslim, but she just spoke about, you know, putting out a single and, you know, incorporating music with her poetry. Like, what would you say to them? Like, how would you explain like your work and music coming together with, you know, with Islam, where it's like people say music is haram. What would you say to them?
Again, music, so it's the instruments, right? So me, I'm personally dodging going on that hip hop route of like just, I get beats sent to me daily from people. I'm just like, I'm not gonna use it. Sorry, I'm not going down that route. I'm not gonna be that UK rapper. Like, that's not the path I'm going down. I could easily give me 16, give me a beat, whatever. I could jump on it, but it's not. It's not my aim. You know, I've already shared bars for people that are going to put on their tracks that will be released God knows when as part of their projects and stuff. And I'm doing my stuff. For me, I'm specifically trying to be avoiding musical instruments, because let's talk about music in Islam. There's permissibility in singing. There's permissibility in singing. There's permissibility in poetry. But with instruments specifically, there is that a lot of ikhtilaf. They say that the daf drum is permissible to use, and it's like, other than that, of course, you know, there's like stories and narrations about the Prophet putting his finger for his ears when flutes were playing and stuff like that. So it's something we should try and avoid where possible. So I'm trying to avoid going down that route. with my Random Rambles debut single, the reason I added a beat is because it was a long track. It was 7 minutes 30, and again,
Banging track, by the way.
Thank you.
Touching my soul. You
a lot going on in that one.
You were saying some stuff. You were saying things.
Yeah.
For sure.
There was too much going on, and I said to myself, I have to make this a single. I can't
Yeah.
just have it as another poetry piece that kind of gets said a couple of times and lifted. I want it to always be on a platform for people
Which is
to
understandable.
listen to in their own time, because I don't think pieces like that get old. I'm covering a lot, but it was also in the moment. It was, the pandemic that got me saying these things, and I actually started that with writer's block. I was like, I don't know what to write, and then I started going from A to Z, and it came out, and I kept going. It could have been longer, but I was like, oh my god, this is too long. So you don't want tracks to be long, but I'm grateful for all the ears that are on it and that I've listened to it, and when I performed the a cappella at a couple of features,
I bet that must have been fire.
people are forced to listen. You see,
Yeah.
It's easy to switch off 7 minutes where you're on the move and listening, but when you're in an event, you will listen to every bar, and people appreciate that. So
I think it's the way, like, me proper, even like right now listening, like remembering it in my head, it's the way you approached it. It's like, I don't know if you didn't even, for me, you didn't give it even enough. You didn't even give like usually people give long tunes like little